So what we've got going on, just went through the corn with this tractor, and it's still has the cultivator shovels on it. Reason for that is I need to loosen the dirt between these plants, or loosen the dirt in the middles. So we'll do that before we put the disc killer on it, because I need some loose dirt to be able to throw up around the bottoms of these potato plants. Now, these have been in the ground since the Monday after Easter, and this is June, I think, if memory serves right. So going back through kind of from beginning to where we got here, we'll go and we'll plow this patch with a tractor and a plow, and I run a tractor mounted rototiller through it with a reverse tine setup, because it really makes it super soft and fluffy. Then we'll take this tractor with a different toolbar mounted up in it, and it hits dead center of the tractor, and I have a fertilizer attachment that I'll be flowing fertilizer. I usually use something in the low teens, like 1010, triple 13, something like that, to put down when I plant it. And then the dirt kind of falls back over that little spot where that fertilizer injector went, and then we just lay the little potato pieces in there about every foot or so apart. That lets us get the fertilizer in. It's not going to burn it, and it gives us a nice straight row. And then I just follow the same track as I did the very last time, so they're all perfectly spaced for cultivating purposes. So that all tends to work pretty good. Then we place them in there. Then I put a set of disc killers. You'll see me put them on this tractor in just a little bit. Put those toolbars on and just lightly hill them. Just cover up the potatoes. I don't want to do a whole lot. And then through the season, I'll hill it a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And then the last time we go through and fertilize these, or I'm sorry, side dress them. Sorry, can't talk. Last time we go through and hill them, we will side dress them with fertilizer, and it'll kind of go right down. I'll just zip tie the little fertilizer tube right to that disc killer piece, and it will cover it right up as it goes past it, and then you turn them loose. And I usually try to do that about the time the blooms start rolling. That's kind of my dead giveaway to start leaving them alone. And after that, I may hit them a time or two really wide with just a cultivator, so hit in the middle so they don't get out of hand, but I try not to bother the rows too much after the blooms come in really good and they're finished. So that's kind of the process. Then we'll go back through the end of the season, and I'll go through, cultivate them again to get anything out of the middle, because I really need to not have that super weedy in there. And later on you'll see a video of us using the one-row potato digger that we built, hydraulic drive. It goes on a little John Deere tractor to pop these little fellas out of the ground in the fall. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, we're going to change the cultivator sweeps off of here. The sweeps on the bottom and shovels. Anyway, we're going to be taking them off and installing a set of disc killers to hill the potatoes. We were using these this morning for the corn and to loosen the soil between the potato plants. Now this afternoon we're going to install the hillers and take that loose dirt and pile it up along the sides of the potatoes. So got our cultivator wrench here. You can kind of see how there's a big offset in it. This is a C2 model wrench. I found it at the Red Power Roundup. You can kind of see here it's a 1 5/16 here. It's a IH, and it's part number there on it, and then 1 1/8 on that side. So we're going to take this and loosen these nuts on the top, this on both sides, and on the other side you can see why this is raised up, because it really helps clear this arm on the other side. These are each made a little bit differently. Each side of the cultivators are. And anyway, you saw this morning we were running earlier with a set of crop shields on the cultivators, and also these were run in a little further. And the reason for that is we were cultivating real close. I'll show you that on the video there. I got some video of both. Cultivating without crop shields there at the end and with in the beginning. So anyway, you can kind of see some of that too. Anyway, with this under here, you don't have to hold that bolt or stud mess up. It'll kind of stay. If you don't, you do. So anyway, we'll just put that in there. That slides right out. Then we'll install our disc tiller. This one has a little bit of a hook in it that lets it get up in under the middle there. You can see how this unit's actually a nut, big square head nut will drop down. So you kind of have to hold that up with your finger, slide it right through this hole, let him rest right there, and tighten him up. You can use the same toolbar to do this. Just mount your cultivators on there. I have found it to be a lot faster just to change this one big nut every time and use different toolbars. And I have several different toolbar setups depending on what I'm doing. And I just bolt the whole thing on with one nut. And these are already adjusted, ready to go. They're correct height with the correct location as far as up and down the toolbar shaft there. And just a whole lot simpler. And everything I do, it seems like time is always the thing that's the problem. So anything we can do to save a little time, we try to do it. Now, as you can see there, it's all ready to go. And now if you notice, it's starting to bump right there. So when they get on the tractor, you can kind of see these stops right here. They will be adjusted. You can adjust one side of them where you need them, and we will lower that a little bit so it doesn't bump down here on the transmission tunnel. Right, and that's got that side. Okay, we're on this side now, and you can kind of see how this wrench fits right down. Well, if you use the correct side, it does. You can see how it fits right down in there and gives us room to turn it. So that's why this wrench is made this way. And kind of see how that is made. They call that a keyhole or a monkey face, where this nut will come up through this hole right here, and it is tapered for the tapered nut back in here. So I'll pull this apart from the top view this time so you can kind of see how that goes together. What I usually look for is half of that, or rather the bolt being halfway down in the nut. When it's about halfway down in that nut, then I know it's about right to go ahead and remove it. So we'll pull this guy off, and when I slide it off, you'll be able to see how it has that conical taper, just like you'd have on a wheel stud on a vehicle. Or I'm not sorry, a wheel stud, but a wheel nut and a wheel that is a lug center style wheel, not a hub center. Of course, they're flat, but you can see how it's just a conical or tapered nut here. It goes down in the same thing on the this part of the cultivator rig. So just pick this up, slide it right out, and you can kind of see how that's tapered, and that hole's big enough to fall down. I'll be right back with that hiller. All right, again, I'm just going to take my finger and push up in there like so to hold that up. Hang him right on there. I'm good to go. I'm going to tighten it down. This side will be ready to roll. These tools are a little bit hard to get a hold of. I don't have the exact right one for the one-row tractors. This one on the other end right here really doesn't fit anything. So being a C2 model wrench, I can't help but assume that it's probably for a two-row, being a either the 2 or the letter C for a Farmall C, which was a 2-row tractor, or the letter 2 for or number 2 rather, for 2-row. Really don't know. Just thoughts there. when you ride back and forth up and down the road 50 some times a day, then you have time to think about, wonder why they labeled things the way they label them. But anyway, would like to find a wrench that's exactly for this. A lot of times tools get separated on the machines over 60 years, and that's how old this tractor is this year. She is 60 years old. She's a Farmall 140, a 1960 model, and has a really interesting, this is where the side dresser mounts, and this is where the planter mounts, and you can take these off down here and put a sled on it, and it'll actually drop seed from this one, fertilizer from this one into their respective parts, and has a press wheel that goes back between the middle, and that's what I used to plant the corn with this year. Now here on the back, we just have our rear sweeps mounted up, and a little bucket for fertilizer there. Has a belt pulley on it. This is a fast hitch tractor. You can tell by the ears right here on both sides. When this has the fast hitch assembly in it, these mount out here on this side, so that and this has a special pin. I just have a bolt in it right now, but that lets it work with the fast hitch, and you can't really run the planter rig with a fast hitch though, so it's not mounted on there currently. And we've got a it's not mounted there currently, and the didn't really need it. Kind of drags the tops of tall potato plants. So anyway, we're going to get started hilling. Here I'm going to adjust that dimension I mentioned earlier. I'm going to slide that up to right there, and you can see here on the side that keeps the little stem from hitting the transmission out. So that's that part. And right there you can kind of start to see right here some new of the potatoes we just planted. We like to plant a lot of potatoes through the year and stagger them, so we have lots of different, so we have lots of little ones all through the season. So go ahead and get you started here. It won't hurt to cover them up when they're little. They'll just keep on poking through. So we're going to run just a light heel right over top of these guys, so that they don't start weeds. You might see a few weeds starting in there. Be done with hand tools, and if you just have a small patch, it's not a bad job. But you can see how that piles the dirt right up around the plant, chokes out all the weeds that are in the road, and gives those little new potatoes a place to expand into here real soon. Now you'll notice here when we get over to the red potatoes, they're already starting to bloom, and you can already see a few little blossoms starting on these white potatoes, and that's usually the signal to me to kind of start leaving them alone as far as being real aggressive. I'll still work the middles, but I won't get too close like you're seeing me here anymore. This will kind of be the end of it for these ones that are already. There's a one